Okay, so this is a video that I'm just going to walk through to those of you who have handed yours in. So just take a look through, and I'll just kind of talk about the answers and maybe where some of us might make a mistake or need a little bit more thought or understanding. So sit back, relax, and compare this to how you did. So uh, first couple slides are just the intro video. Sorry about some of us not being able to get that. I think I've solved the issue. I'm not going to upload them all to YouTube instead of trying to upload them directly from my computer. Okay, so the first question was high concentration versus low concentration. We talked about this a bunch when we were talking about density in all of our solutions, right, when we were talking about iced tea. So first, right, we have a bunch of food coloring on one side and none on the other. So I'm going to move this high concentration to this side, right, to show that there is more concentration, there's more food coloring on this end. And then low concentration, we can move to this end. I saw some of you, what I liked is, because essentially low concentration still tells us that there's something there. So some of us had moved a couple over, which is great. High concentration, low concentration. If you didn't move them, that's fine. I didn't expect you guys to, just to be able to identify the two. So create an arrow to showing where the food coloring will travel. Okay, so this one, if we just make an arrow, and this is going to start to move that direction. Okay, it's going to start to move across the container. Some of you did more than one, which is great too. Right. So it's going to move across the container and kind of disperse out that way. Okay, now physically move the food coloring. So it's going to move, right? It's going to start to move, but we have to think about this as a full container. What's actually going to happen is they're going to evenly space out. So some of them are going to move, but they're going to kind of be equal distant from each other. So I'll move a couple across. We're talking about equilibrium or balance. These particles having spread out, and each part of the container having an equal concentration. Okay, so the concentration is going to kind of level out. Or maybe something close to that is awesome. Okay, so it might look something like that, and a lot of us got this pretty close. Okay, anything that looks something like that where the concentration is kind of spread out or dispersed, we've reached equilibrium is a good way to say it. Okay, so this, fill in the blanks. The diffusion is a movement of particles from the area of to the area of. So this goes kind of back to this idea, right? It goes from the area of high concentration. I'll just put another arrow in here, right? It starts with high concentration and it moves towards low concentration. And this is a great definition for grade 9 and grade 10 as well. So you just area of high concentration, an area of low concentration. Okay. So far, this one has been done quite well throughout. So next we have another video. Again, if you didn't get a chance to see this, I've reposted them on the stream in the Google Classroom, so you can go back and take a look. Okay, so this semi-permeable membrane, it's going to let the yellow through, but not the purple. Okay, so the yellow is going to be able to travel through, but the purple is going to get stopped. Okay, so it's only going to be able to travel to the barrier. Okay, so they're both going to try to disperse their way out, create some sort of equilibrium. They're just going to look a little bit different, and this is where maybe we need a little bit more understanding. So move the food coloring particles around to show what happened after 10 minutes. Okay, so here's the hardest part. This is kind of the apex of it all, where we need to think about this as the difference between yellow and purple. Yellow has access to the whole container, just as we had up here, right? Access to the whole container, so it should look something like this, right? Its equilibrium should be across the whole container. Yellow can go all the way through. Okay, so we have to think about this as the whole container. So some of it's going to move across, but some of it is actually going to stay on that other side. It's going to have equal concentration on throughout the entire container. So it'll look something like this. We have 8 particles, so it'll probably be 8. Sorry, 4 makes sense. Oh, something like that, whatever you feel. Okay. Let's take a look at the purple, right? We decided that the purple was only going to be able to travel as far as the barrier. So we have to figure out what that equilibrium will look like, right? So I'm just going to draw a box in here, and we can take a look at what purple will look like. So I'm going to draw a box. It's going to be a little bit big just so we can see it, but it's going to be like that. Oof. The fill, I want it to be transparent, and I'm going to make this purple because we're talking about purple. So it looks something like that. So this is where purple has access to. And I'm going to do the same thing for the yellow while we're here. I'm just going to make it a little bit bigger again so we can see it. Yellow has access to all of this. Yellow, and we'll make it thicker a little bit. Okay, so we can take a look at the difference there, right? Yellow has access to everything, purple does not. So what does purple look like? Shoot. So I have to delete these and get back into those. Send to back. Okay, sorry. Just a little housekeeping here. Okay, so now this purple, I kind of work within this purple box. Its equilibrium looks something like this. And they are coming out. Throughout their allotted little space, right? This on the left-hand side of the barrier. Okay, so it should look something like that. Yellow gets to go everywhere. Purple has to stay on the left-hand side, but not all of the yellow is going to move across, right? It's just going to be able to use the whole container. An important distinction. So diffusion, we can pull this one right from the start. This was into particles from area of high concentration to area of O concentration. And equilibrium, you can say that this is balance, the state of equal concentration. Okay, work that way. Something in your own words, right? I can tell when you guys Google, surprisingly. Semi-permeable versus selectively permeable. This is where we talked about semi-permeable being mostly due to size, right? They both let some things in, but not others. Semi-permeable, that's certain objects through others, mostly due to size. definitely permeable. This is when organism decides which molecules to let through. Again, my definition or my example was our digestive system, right? Whatever we eat, our digestive system chooses what to let through, and the rest goes to waste. We just take out the nutrients, and the rest kind of gets passed through, right? If you eat a Lego block, it's not going to get digested. Your body chooses not to take it in, right? Okay, so that's that assignment. If you have so many questions, feel free to hit me up on Google. Google Hangouts. I'm trying to be there all day. So if you have any questions, feel free. And yeah, thanks, guys.